Building your castle, when that dream comes true, and wherever it may be, is a journey, sometimes an excursion, more often a ride. It is a quest, not just to build, but to create. This journey requires a guide. SMC and Associates would like to be your guide. The real history of SMC and Associates begins in 1983 at 1516 Country Club Drive, now the proud home of Vicki and Carl Warden.
The house originally was a ranch-style house, and we thought we were going to remodel an existing house, and we had a very pretty picture that our architect drew. So Steve was given the task of having to make that pretty picture into a home.
He said, my recommendation would be to reassess this, tear it down, and start from scratch using maybe a piece of the foundation here and there, but that's it.
So we did.
So that's what we did.
They listened to me, and I believe that to this day they still think that that was the correct decision to make.
Steve had to figure out how to build something. There were certain sections of the house that were not in detail.
To watch them put the beams and fit all the heavy beams at the top of the turret was, I look at it and say, to this day, I don't know how you do that stuff.
We love our home.
Yeah.
Absolutely love our home.
I laugh, and I occasionally, Steve will call or something, at holidays and stuff like that, and I always tell him, I say, man, I love to live in your home here. Thank you for doing this.
For the contractor and the craftsman, for those whose challenge it is to create the very best, 220 University, the home of Nan and Chuck Geschke, was the ultimate test. It was a project that required a real team approach.
First, we had to put together the property. There was two separate pieces of property.
One of the things about it was actually in Los Altos Hills. The Adobe Creek separates Los Altos from Los Altos Hills.
As we walked through the house, it was funny, we were in the elevator, and my father said to me, he goes, we weren't even gone through one floor of the house, we've only gone through the basement level. He's like, I have to have this house. So it was kind of funny, the whole design process kind of started at that moment.
There were so many different entities involved, different architects, there's different designers, a lot of different engineers.
It was really a very creative effort on everybody's part, including Wendell and Chuck, my daughter, myself, and Steve. We all sort of had input.
From the stonework to recapturing the era of the home to the inside moldings, the way we were able to really detail everything to its finest.
It's just like a museum inside, just something very unique, and it's nice to be involved with it.
We worked 14, 16 hours a day together as a team here. It took that kind of effort to do the complexity of this project.
This was a large project. It was a lot of money. We were prepared to invest that money, but I had 100% confidence that Steve would treat that financial obligation that we were undertaking as though it was his own.
Steve and Todd really take the time to really listen to you, what your needs are, and make sure that it happens for you in a timely manner, and that it's done correctly.
Everything is on the table. There's no underhanded shortcuts or things like that. Everything is exposed so that the client knows exactly what's going on all of the time.
I recall when we moved in December and knew Kathy was getting married in June, being very nervous what were the intermediate things we could give up on in order to make sure that the wedding could be functioning and held. And there was just this huge sense of relief in late May when it was obvious that we were going to make it.
We did have the wedding here, and we have lots of pictures to prove it. I mean, it was all done, even though we were planting flowers the day before the wedding.
Unbeknownst to us, Steve to have arranged a plane to fly over the house and take an aerial photograph, which we still have downstairs, that sort of captured exactly what the place looked like that day. And I thought that was a wonderful touch.